Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you so much for joining me today, October 24th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. So great to see you, Lisa. Much love, Barb. Gandhi, much love. Nikosmas, it's so good to see you. Taz, great to see you. Kari, much love. Mother Rhea, all the love in the world. Holler Haint, much love. Lilith, great to see you. Geronimo, good to see you. Roving Fungus, my friend, good to see you. Kari again. Daphne, much love. Pamela, great to see you. D-Love, much love. Oh, Chiscamando, good to see you. Much love. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a great day, a beautiful day. We are now in the moon in Leo, and this is beautiful, bright, vibrant energy, fiery, passionate energy. It is that energy of the beast. It's that fire of Aries. It is that force that drives us. It is that ability to take courage and strength and to move into life. Under this moon in Leo, we have that fiery energy. We can really shine a light and we can move with passionate purpose. And with this beautiful energy of Libra, that balance, that justice of Libra in our sun, we can reign in this energy, this passionate energy, and we can focus it in and we can truly make leaps and bounds. We can focus in, we can move mountains. The key is just being passionate, giving in to that passion in a sincere way and embracing inspiration and pursuing and embracing that imagination, that creative power, and that leads me to our title today, Embrace the Creative Power of Imagination. I came to this one actually in kind of a roundabout way this morning. I was flipping through various art blogs that I follow, and I saw this beautiful picture that I selected for the thumbnail of a woman in the stars with the moon. And it just really hit me, and I thought it was wonderful. And I looked at this image and it really made me connect to the star card and to that Venus Aphrodite. And it was that imagination taking hold and being inspired in that moment that brought that image. And as I leaned into this image throughout the day and was just kind of following where the muse led me, when I was doing my normal reading, I came across this really beautiful passage that I found really inspiring from the Pythian Odes of Pindar. This is Ode number 8 for Aristomenes of Aegina from 446 BCE. Wow. So it says, kindly peace, Hestia, daughter of justice, Dike, you who make cities great, holding the supreme keys of counsel and of wars. Receive this honor due to Aristomenes for his Pythian victory. For you know both how to give and how to receive gentleness with precise timing. And yet, whenever anyone drives pitiless anger into his heart, you meet the strength of your enemies roughly, sinking arrogance, hubris in the flood. Porphyrion did not know your power when he provoked you beyond all measure. Gain is most welcome when one takes it. Sorry. Oops. 1 second here. Where was I? Gain is most welcome when one takes it from the home of a willing giver. Violence trips up even a man of great pride and time. Sicilian Typhon with his 100 heads did not escape you, nor indeed did the king of giants. One was subdued by the thunderbolt, the other by the bowl of Apollo, who with a gracious mind welcomed the son of Xenarxes on his return from Syra, crowned with a garland of laurel from Parnassus and with Dorian victory song. His island with her just city has not fallen far from the graces, the charities, having attained the famous excellence of the Aeacidae. She has had perfect glory from the beginning. She is praised in song for having fostered heroes who were supreme in many victory-bearing contests and in swift battles. And she is distinguished in these things, even for her men. And it's just beautiful. And it really hit me, this imagery. And I looked in more to this goddess Heskia. I hadn't really seen that name much. And when I looked it up on Theoi, this was the the reference they sent me to, the one I'm reading, which just I laughed right out loud. But it showed me more of this word and the meaning behind this word. And I realized that the peace, Heskia, is also quies, is also silentia. She is that peace and silence, peace and quiet. Her name is also the silence. This again brings us to our goddess, Diamuta, the mute, who I've been repeating her story so often. But now we see this image of the silence in new light, through that peace, through the building of cities, through the nurturing, through the bringing together in harmony, right? That victory-bringing goddess, right? Daughter of justice, who bestows on us her grace. And just was thinking about this. It immediately brought me to a poem I was looking at the other day. And it blew my mind again, because when you think about this idea of the silence, it also goes into a lot of this law and into nature and into the natural law, right? What needs not to be said, what needs not to be spoken, what is true by condition that we can all understand, like the right to self-defense, right? It is just an unspoken rule. It is something understood. It is nature's law, right? And that fundamental law of nature that I speak of so often is that adapt or die. And it immediately brought me to this poem I had read yesterday and was thinking about. I almost read on stream, but I decided against it. And now I know why, because I was meant to read it today. The title of this poem is Nature's Law, a poem humbly inscribed to G.S. Esquire by Robert Burns. Great nature spoke, observant man obeyed, said Pope. Let other heroes boast their scars, the marks of sturt and strife, and other poets sing of wars, the plagues of human life. Shame fa the fun, we sword and gun to slap mankind like lumber. I sing his name in nobler fame, while multiplies our number. Great nature spoke with air benign, go on ye human race. This lower's world you resign, be fruitful and increase. The liquid fire of strong desire I've poured it in each bosom. Here in this hand does mankind stand, and there is beauty's blossom. The hero of these artless strains, a lowly bard was he, who sung his rhymes in Coila's plains, with meikle mirth and glee. Kind nature's care had given his share, large of the flaming current, and all devout he never sought to stem the sacred torrent. He felt the powerful high behest throw vital through and through, and sought a correspondent breast to give obedience due. Propitious powers screened the young flowers from mildews of abortion. And lo, the bard a great reward has got a double portion. Old Canty Coil may count the day as annual it returns, the third of Libra's equal sway that gave another Burns. The future rhymes in other times to emulate his sire, to sing old Coiler in a nobler style, with more poetic fire. Ye powers of peace and peaceful song, look down with gracious eyes, and bless old Coila, large and long, with multiplying joys. Lang may she stand to prop the land, the flower of ancient nations, and burns this spring her fame to sing through endless generation. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. And it just hits so hard with all of the themes, right? Peace, nature's law, that great goddess, that mother, right? Beautiful. All right. We are now going to go to our Ganapati oracle. All right. Lord Ganesha Ganapati is that divine child, the guardian of the threshold, the Lord of beginnings, the master of spirits. And we ask them to send us a message to inspire us and to ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. So Ganapati, blessed, what is the message? All right. Perseverance. Perseverance. Being true, being strong. Persisting in spite of it all. Adapting when necessary, right? Profound, this kind of energy. Having that strength to tend to the garden. Doing what is necessary. Beautiful. Wow. Thank you, Ganapati, for that powerful message to start. We're going to go now to our sortes. For those of you unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is, divination through literature, and it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. And we invoke the goddesses, the spirits of inspiration, the divine muses, and we ask them to inspire us and to send us a message through the text. So muses, guide my hand. What is today's message from the White Goddess and Robert Graves? The beautiful lady with many the lovers and a great square bed hung with white linen is unmistakably the goddess, and the young shoemaker is Lula. Wow, this is beautiful. Lula is also the oak, the great bard, the shoemaker, the dancer. Wow. Connected to the beautiful lady with many lovers in a great square bed, hung with white linen, is unmistakably the goddess, and the young shoemaker is Lula, the goddess with many lovers. That's that Aphrodite Pandemos, lover of all creation. And the companion Lula, the oak, the shoemaker, Dionysus, right? Bacchus in adoration of Aphrodite. Beautiful. Love it so much. That was amazing. Okay, let us continue. What a way to start. The two defining energies of the universe on full display. All right. Women who run with wolves. Myths and stories of the wild woman archetype by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Christina Pinkola Estes? The story opens with the symbol of the mill and the miller. Like them, the psyche is a grinder of ideas. It masticates concepts and breaks them down into usable nourishment. It takes in raw material in the form of ideas, feelings, thoughts, and perceptions, and breaks them open in a way that makes them usable for our nourishment. We consume all that is around us, and we need that mental nourishment. Wow. The mill and the miller, like them, the psyche is a grinder. We grind the grain of ideas to produce that flour. And from that flour, we knead to make the dough. We let it rise into bread. What a beautiful metaphor. All right. Let's continue. Okay. You're now going to go to Magia by Alan Chapman. All right. Muses guide my hand. What is the message from Alan Chapman? Inspire us to see. And wherever you find your contemplation of the fire interrupted, and wherever you find your contemplation of the fire interrupted by the distraction of a play of shadows, receive it with thanks. Welcome it home by inviting it into its own room in the house. Now, that is a beautiful idea and a powerful moment. When faced with the unknown, right? When faced with the other, why not invite it in for a cup of tea into its own room? Why not engage it? Why not have a conversation? Why is it always something terrifying and untoward? Have you even asked it anything? Right? And the next line is so beautiful. And thus is the shadow taken from time and brought back to eternity. Do you accept the invitation? And wherever you find your contemplation of the fire interrupted by the distraction of a play of shadows, receive it with thanks. Welcome it home by inviting it in to its own room in the house. And thus is the shadow taken from time and brought back to eternity. Do you accept the invitation? Wow. Interesting. Let's continue. All right. We are now going to go to Goethe. Faust. Muses, what is the message from Goethe in Faust? My curse on pride that will invite emboldened acts for Mammon's treasure, on Mammon's hand that sets aright the softest couch for idle pleasure. Wow. My curse on pride that will invite emboldened acts for Mammon's treasure, to do wild and bold things in the name of Mammon. Ammon? Zeus Amon of Siwa? Emboldened acts for Mammon's treasure, on Mammon's hand that sets aright the softest couch for idle pleasure. This immediately makes me think of the hand of Sabazios. And if you look, you'll find several examples where you will see a sitting deity in the palm of the hand. A sitting deity in the palm of the hand. The softest couch for idle pleasure. Interesting. Wow. Let's continue. We're going to go to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, Lewis Carroll. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Lewis Carroll? Inspire us. I never ask advice about growing, said Alice indignantly. Too proud, the other inquired. Alice felt even more indignant at the suggestion. I mean, she said, that one can't help growing older. One can't, perhaps, said Humpty Dumpty, but two can. Now that is interesting. One can't, but two can. We have that idea of working together to overcome, right? And in that loving harmony, right, there is that creation that overcomes death. Two can. Oh my gosh, that's wild. One can't, perhaps, but two can. All right. Paradise Lost and Regained by Milton. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Milton? Inspire us this evening. Familiar to our eyes, all places else inhospitable. appear and desolate, nor knowing us nor known. And if by prayer incessant I could hope to change the will of him who all things can, I would not cease to weary him with my assiduous cries, but my prayer against his absolute decree no more avails than breath against the wind, blown stifling back on him that breathes it forth. Therefore to his great bidding I submit. Oh, wow, that's so intense. Familiar to our eyes, all places else inhospitable appear and desolate. Familiar to our eyes. It is only the places that we do not look that appear inhospitable and desolate because we do not know, nor knowing us nor known. And if by prayer incessant I could hope to change the will of him who all things can, so God, I would not cease to weary him with my assiduous cries, but my prayer against his absolute decree no more avails than breath against the wind, blown stifling back on him that breathes it forth. Therefore to his great bidding I submit. Wow, this is such a depressing thing to read. To weary him with my assiduous cries, but my prayer against his absolute decree no more avails than breath against the wind. Right? This belief that there is no way to change him. There is no way to resist or fight against that absolute power. To believe that absolute power is all and to submit, that is just depressing. I immediately think in contrast to the story of Cain and the power of the character of Lucifer, right? Lucifer, who stood in the face of God and told him that his evil was not good. You have to believe in yourself, right? You have to have that strength. Wow. Again, we're back with the story of Diamuta, right? She who spoke up against power and for that was silenced, tossed into the underworld, right? But she spoke up nonetheless, and she saved Juturna from violence. It came at a great cost, but there was also a victory, right? And that justice will return. There is more to these images than we first see. All right, let us continue. A Sinister Assassin by Antonin Artaud. Muses, what is the message from Artaud? Inspire us this evening. And for years they replied to whoever came to try to find out what was happening to me. Antonin Artaud is dead. Antonin Artaud is dead. He repeats that sentence several times over with a frozen expression of contempt. And for years they replied to whoever came to try to find out what was happening to me. Antonin Artaud is dead. He repeats that sentence several times with a frozen expression of contempt. Artaud, remember, famously erased his name, tried to kill himself, and eventually was reborn. Artaud the Momo. He died in electroshock and was reborn, a new man. And Artaud was not who came out. The Momo is someone else. All right, let us continue. We are now going to go to The House of the Dead by Jeremy Reed. Muses, What is the message from Jeremy Reed? Inspire us. And I'll recount the worst scenario should you break trust. You'll find your villa full of chemsex partiers, your wife stripped nude and fucked by numbers of king-size bed. When you've killed them in your marble halls, they'll just bounce back again. Whoa. And I'll recount the worst scenario should you break trust. You'll find your villa full of chemsex partiers, your wife stripped nude and fucked by numbers of king-size bed. And when you've killed them in your marble halls, they'll just bounce back again. Whoa. Whoa. What a nightmare, right? The endless suitors. Anyway, wild. That was intense imagery. Let's go to Euripides. 10 plays. Muses, what is the message from Euripides? Inspire us this evening. But how can we hide unless God in his goodness helps to conceal us? What suffering, poor mistress, still awaits your soul? Is it because we wish to harm our neighbor that we ourselves suffer as justice demands? Whoa, this is wild. We have what I've been talking about on full display again. But how can we hide who's the hidden one, right? The quiet one. Unless God in his goodness helps to conceal us. What suffering, poor mistress, still awaits your soul? Is it because we wish to harm our neighbor that we ourselves suffer as justice demands? Is it because we wish to harm our neighbor? Right? I was talking about this in this stream I did recently with my good friend Ryan. You know, when you meet that great goddess, how will you behave? Will you recognize her as a worthy equal, as someone entitled to her own individuality? Will you respect her? Or will you be reduced to an animal in her sight? Do you have what it takes to stand before her? You know, many failed. Many have failed. All right. In fact, we've all failed. That's what they're telling us. That's why we're here. Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, uses, what is the message from Lao Tzu? Taking no action, all efforts made with the purpose are sure to fail. The nature of the Tao necessitates their doing so, and the uncertainty of things and events teaches the same lesson. All efforts made with the purpose are sure to fail. Take no action. Go with the flow, right? Embrace the Tao. Wow. Let us continue. We're going to do one last sortes from my dear Lord Byron. Muses, what is the message from Byron? Inspire us this evening. And if my voice break forth, 'tis not that now I shrink from what is suffered. Let him speak. Who hath beheld decline upon my brow, or seen my mind's convulsions leave it weak? But in this page a record will I seek. Not in the air shall these my words disperse, though I be ashes, a far hour shall wreak the deep prophetic fullness of this verse, and pile on human heads the mountain of my curse. Oof. And if my voice breaks forth, if I break my silence, if that peace transform. If that decay becomes nemesis, 'tis not that now I shrink from what is suffered. Let him speak who hath beheld decline upon my brow, or seen my mind's convulsions leave it weak, but in this page a record will I seek. I am here for a reckoning, reason, to take account, to record. Not in the air shall these my words disperse. Though I be ashes, a far hour shall wreak the deep prophetic fullness of this verse. It's not just mere words. I'm writing this down. This is verse. This is prophecy. This is elegy. And pile on human heads the mountain of my curse, a written curse, spoken in verse. Woof. All right. That was wild. Let us now go to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm and it really helps the channel out. I would truly appreciate it. And if you can, please leave a comment below. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, reach out to me, snappyddts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. I'm always around. Send me a DM. All right. We are going to use the Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke that energy of Saturn and ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up and put it on the plate, to expose our current, to show us how to overcome the conflicts, how to best move and flow, and how to actualize our true wills. And what is the greater message for our community? All right. And today's center card is Debauch. Debauch. Over-engagement, overindulging in that combative communication that's going nowhere, that's leading to poisoning the well, right? Oof. This energy, right? It's like, it's very similar to futility. You know, the sevens are not all bad. There is a struggle, right? Futility in the swords is about overthinking. It's about believing you can't. You're still going forward. You're still have enough reason to see what you're doing, but you're starting to doubt yourself. You believe, you start to believe you can't, right? Similar energy here, you know, you're moving out of that reciprocal loving flow of the six, that pleasurable connection where everyone is satisfied and everyone is sharing in harmony, right? You're moving out of that into over engagement, right? Now these relationships are unbalanced. You're starting to not be in flow, right? This could be fighting. This could be disharmony in many different ways, right? When I think of our greater community, I can see that, you know, petty arguments and squabbles and silliness, right? Let's continue. Connected to this, though, we have that six of success, right? In spite of some of the toxic elements, we still have this grandiose success. We still are moving mountains. But we need to make sure that we are clean in house and that we are in that reciprocal flow. Where's this going? Wow. Beautiful energy. Now we're seeing why there's some of this energy of this debauch, right? That lust energy, that over enthusiasm, that over passion, that over the drive. This is profound energy, right? That Lady Babylon drawing down the stars, you know, and this is such beautiful energy right now under the moon in Leo because we have the beast, the lion, right? And Virgo rides upon Leo to draw down Libra, justice, right? Beautiful. And what we're seeing, though, is that this energy is that lust energy, that passion for life. And it's such profound energy. It's leading to that success, but it's also leading to this overstimulation. You know? Where's this going though? Wow, 2 sevens connected, right? At the bottom of our square now, connected to debauch, we have the 7 of Wands. Intense. The 7 of Wands is the most positive of the sevens. It's reminding us that we need to be true to our vision, right? That we must build upon our victory. Building upon a victory is hard, right? It's about having to remember and to push forward, to be valorous, to be virtuous, to be true, to hold to the path. Often when we achieve that victory, we don't want to continue. Often when we achieve that victory, we lose sight of the greater goal, right? Success is a reward, but it is not the completion of the cycle. Let's see where this is going. Interesting. Interesting. What we're seeing here is that at the top, or connected to that 7 at the top, we have the 5 of discs, worry. And that's also connecting to our 6, success. So right now what I'm seeing is that there's a struggle, right? There is a time of financial stress and worry and confusion, but there is success on the horizon. There's just this need to persist, to be true to that inspiration, and to continue to do that work and to build upon your success so that we can transform this 5 into the 6. It's already appeared. It's just appearing in the middle, you know? But this is also a sign that there is this worry, this stress, you know? There's this fear of loss. There's a fear of expansion. And it's necessary that we confront this kind of energy of worry, you know? Where does the worry come from? Interesting. Let's see where it's going. Okay, wow. We have defeat. Defeat. 5 of Swords. Worry and defeat. 2 5s. 2 7s, 2 5s. Wow. 2 7s and 2 5s. And the 6 and the 9. Or the 11, sorry. Wow. Okay. That defeat energy though, right? This is not thinking hard enough. This is where when I was talking earlier about the 7 energies, over engaging. This is under engaging now, right? This is about not trying hard enough. When things become a struggle, we give up. We don't persist, right? We don't hold true. And this is a call to be in that energy of strength, you know? And it's connected to this lust energy, right? There's this defeatist energy when there's connecting to that great mother, when there's that drawing down the star, you know? So there is this worry, there's this disconnect, there's a belief that there isn't an ability to connect to her, right? Which is kind of wild, right? There's this worry, there's this defeat, you know? But we have this literal success, you know? And the cards are telling us to stay in that valor, to be true and to persist, right? That goddess is here, we're doing the work, we're drawing down the stars, right? You know, but this is hard work, right? This is not something that comes easy, nor happens overnight. Oof. Sorrow. We're now getting to the deep inner roots that are leading to all of that, to that debauchery, to that defeat, to that worry. And the root is this self-limiting sorrow, depression, right? Not just depression, though. The 3 of Swords is a real embracing of pessimism, of an inability, like a fixation upon the suffering and an inability to see the other side of the coin, right? A real deep sadness and this leads to you can't move forward, right? You can't imagine the future because all it does is bring pain, right? And that is such difficult energy. Oof. And we're seeing again where this energy is coming from partially. We are showing up this energy of that Prince of Wands, right? On one hand, this is positive because we are that energy that is pursuing that fire, right? That connects us to that divine energy. We are engaging in that valor, or at least trying to. But on the other hand, we're showing up as the immature person, right? The immature person who is outgoing and pursuing their will. When we're looking at these masculine energies, it's really about that manifestation, going out into the universe, trying to affect change, right? Trying to assert one's authority. Whereas the feminine energies are more about that kinship building, right? And connecting in community with others and working together or working with others, right? This is about doing. So, but as that immature prince, right? This is us being a bit reckless. We're pursuing that lust in a youthful, reckless way. And it's getting us into trouble, right? It's manifesting sorrow, it's manifesting debauch, and worry, right? But we also have this success. We also have this connection to that great mother. Wow. And here at the end, we see the key to it all, where we need to go. And it's all about that pursuit of reason and connecting to her, right? That 6 of Swords, that science energy, right? When we look at that energy, this is coming together in a community for the purposes of understanding, to see the bigger picture. It's only in the points of the swords that we can see the unfolding of the cube, right? Beautiful energy. You need to take in all the different perspectives coming together in that reasoned harmony, right? This is deep understanding. Not simply listening to others, but also engaging in learning through literature, through science, through engaging with community in that greater scale and recognizing the need for it. That greater understanding of that nature cannot come from that individual perspective, right? And recognizing that you got to do that work in the self, that you can incorporate all these ideas in your mind and you can eventually see the cube, right? You can have enough knowledge to be able to speak and to be in that empowered state of wisdom, And it's that reason that'll balance all of this out, right? How does that prince become the knight? Through reasoned action. How do we overcome the sorrow? By seeing things for what is actually there, And it's hard, right? Like this is energy is sometimes difficult, because it requires a lot of balance and a lot of focus. When we're talking about reason, we're not simply meaning logic, we're meaning that balance of instinct and logic, right? That balance of masculine and feminine, that middle path, that greater understanding, right? Interesting. All right. I'm now going to flip. But again, before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you can, leave a comment. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, reach out, snappyddts@gmail.com. And you can find me on the Myth and Lore Discord as well. We're always hanging out. It's an amazing place. Lots of fun people there. Come say hi. All right, so here is our square. Okay, let's take a look. Starting here with our 6 success, right? This is funny. This is kind of a funny thing because what we see is, in actuality, the prince is manifesting that success. They're laying the roots, right? That success is here. But in truly reckless prince style, they're worried and they don't see the bigger picture. They don't even see the success. They're manifesting that worry, that fear. To them, this is a 5, even as it becomes a 6, because they're not acting reasonable. They're in that immature state, right? Wild. And here, right? That debaucherous energy, that over and stimulating, right? That engaging in this kind of negativity and conflict, it really saps us. And it leads to a lot of the sorrow, because it leads us, sometimes when we engage with people and you engage with, people, when we engage with certain types of literature or film or individuals, it can be truly horrific. Life is complicated, and there are parts that will shock and be disturbing, and will be hard to handle. And what I'm seeing here with this sorrow is a lot of it comes from recognizing the state of our greater communities, right? Our greater communities, in many ways, people are generally good. They're trying, but there's so much toxicity, right? There's so much exploitation. There's so much negativity, right? And it almost seems like there's nothing we can do about it. And that leads to that sorrow, right? But we're being told by that great mother energy, by that goddess, that we need to be true, to be valorous, to build upon our success that we've had in our own lives, and to recognize that these things are all static and that they can change. What seems impossible may not be as impossible as you once believed. And you don't have to necessarily do it on the grandiose scale. You can do it in your communities, in your families, with your friends. You start small and you inspire others. It becomes that reverberating success, right? Of transformation and love. Let's now look to the lust card, that Lady Babylon, that Virgo riding Leo to draw down justice, right? That beautiful energy, that Leo energy itself in the tarot, right? Perfect for our Leo moon. When we get this lust, we believe in some ways that we cannot connect. We can't flip the poles. We can't do the work. We can't draw down the star. We can never hear the silence, right? There's that defeat that sits in. There's this belief almost that it's impossible, right? The dream is so big, right? The dream is so big. The passion is so great that this kind of limited energy sets in. No way it can truly manifest. No way the tides can change. But again, remind ourselves, what does Heraclitus teach? Right? Everything dances. Nothing stands. Only change is real. Okay? You cannot step in the same river twice. This is where that reason sets in, right? Reason shows us that we can do this, and someone is going to do it. And this is where you're at, as that community with this grandiose reason perspective, actively deciding to make a change and to overcome that debauch through, of all things, the power of lust. Now, isn't that wild? And that's where the success comes in, right? Love it. Right? Let's look here at our cross. Right? It's all self-manifesting. because you don't believe, because you believe you can't change anything, it's debaucherous, right? And you're engaged in these debaucherous acts because of this self-defeatist energy and this unwillingness to do the work necessary to change, to force this 5 to become that 6 of reason, right? And if we look, it's that 6 of reason that forces to overcome the worry and the debauch, right? That'll bring us to that connection with that Lady Babylon, right? That'll overcome the sorrow. It is through that reason and that valor that we transform what's around us, building upon our success, building upon our victory, pursuing it with the true, fiery, passionate love that is needed for that great mother, and combining that with that reasoned action, reasoned foresight, fire, that emotion. It's about the coming together, right, in perfect unison to work to bring her down, to bring the balance between logic and instinct, right? Instinct and logic. Wow. Powerful energy. Powerful energy. Do we have the strength necessary, the reason necessary to be able to do the work, to hear the silence, to listen, right? To transform that debauch and to come back into harmony, to manifest the success, to become mature and take responsibility. All right, everyone, that's the reading. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. All right. Okay. Let us do one final sword taste, and then we're going to call it an evening. Okay, we're going to go to Lorca. 3 tragedies. Muses, what is the message from Lorca? Inspire us. Why, shepherd, sleep alone? Why, shepherd, sleep alone? On my wool quilt deep you'd find your sleep. Why, shepherd, sleep alone? Does this not immediately make you think of Salome? We read a similar passage from here recently, and it immediately made me think of that amazing play by Oscar Wilde as Salome goes to Joaquin. I will kiss you on the mouth, right? I will kiss you on the mouth, Joaquin. Why, shepherd, sleep alone? Why, shepherd, sleep alone? On my wool quilt deep you'd find your sleep. Why, shepherd, sleep alone? Beautiful. All right, everyone. That's the message. Peace and love, and I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sword tastes. All right. Oh, and just as an aside, I am going to be scoping out a potential site for the museum with my dear friend Isaac and my partner. So wish us luck, and let's hope that we find a place that's not in utter ruins and a city that's not too crazy. But this will be a fun experiment, at least checking out, because this is what we really want to do, is to build that museum, to create a creative space where people can share, right? Come together as a community for the purposes of reason and understanding and art, right? And love. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Take care, and I hope I see you tomorrow.